Good morning, everybody. So this is the Norwood neighborhood, and it's one of my favorite neighborhoods to take a preservation class for sure. Everything that is an asset is here, and everything that could go wrong is also here. So a little history about the Norwood neighborhood itself, which is that in the early part of the century, 1903, round in there, the earliest houses were built in this area. And they're more toward the interstate. And for years, I think still now, you could drive down the interstate and look over and see big wood houses that were dilapidated. I think you can still see some of that. Just right over that way, big houses, wood. I think maybe some of them have been lost, some of them have been rehabbed, some of them are still dilapidated, whatever. But the oldest ones are...
what did you say, some have been to rehab? What?
Have been rehabbed.
Rehab?
Rehabilitated.
Ah, yeah, okay.
But when you... So the oldest ones are over that way. It was about 1910, something like that, when Norwood was developed as a neighborhood, as a piece. And remember that 1910, I hope you remember that in 1910 is when the city of Birmingham doubled its size by expanding its boundaries and including the suburbs around it. This wasn't really quite a suburb yet, a little bit of a suburb. Woodlawn that we're going to see is going to be one of those. Inslee that we're not going to be able to get to is one of those. And so in 1910, lots of stuff's happening in Birmingham. Lots of additional land because it is expanded, so lots of new development. And this neighborhood was named Norwood, and it was to be the northern equivalent to South Highlands, right? Over where Highland Avenue is, right? That's one thing it has to deal with. And so this became known as Norwood. It was developed by the Birmingham Real Estate Company, Birmingham Realty, which was the original realty company. And it was, well, we'll look around and see what you think it was built for, who you think it was built for. Of course, segregation is in place. You know that. When you came here, did you notice the interstates? The tangle of interstates, right? Did you notice them? The tangle of interstates? All the interstates that are around downtown that you had to come through to get here. Did you notice that? Oh, you did? When you go back, if you'll go down 26th Street or Caraway Boulevard, you'll see the interstates. Okay, and so I really, they're so dramatic right in there that I really wanted you to look at those. Do you know where I'm talking about, Anastasia?
The 20, 59, 65, and 18?
Yeah. And so it's just a tangle, just a morass. And it is, in fact, Norwood used to go to 12th Street. So several streets over that way, which is now a fast food, maybe this or that. But the neighborhood used to extend all the way over there.
It used to be longer, in other words.
If you want.
Okay.
It used to expand over to 12th. Okay, and because of the interstate, as soon as the interstate was announced, values of houses dropped.
Oh.
Hey, oh, wow. Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Hey.
Ah, hey, yeah, Tom, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Gosh, I'm so glad to see you.
Who are these guys?
This is my preservation class from
Cool.
UAB.
Very cool.
So this is Tom Krieger, excuse me.
Hey.
This is Tom Krieger.
Undergraduate, graduate? Both.
a bunch of graduates and several undergraduates.
Cool. Very cool.
And Ben Lusk, a documentarian.
Excellent.
And so Tom Krieger and his partner in the 90s,
Good Lord. Yeah, it was
in the 90s, came in as pioneers, that's for sure.
I think we were just welcomed in.
Well, you were, but you were pioneers.
Yes.
Yeah, you were some of the first who came in for the particular purpose of you wanted to live in this neighborhood and help to revitalize it. Is that fair enough?
It's excellent.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful neighborhood.
It's a wonderful
and it was
neighborhood.
Headed south.
Yeah, it was headed south
It
big
was
time.
been headed south since the 80s.
And so honestly, he won't say so, but he and his partner just did phenomenal work over a few streets down this way, and then purchased this one.
We did. This is our albatross.
Yeah. Well, tell them the story of why this house is still not renovated.
It's a sad one.
And let's move down here because it is one of the showpieces. There are a lot of showpieces in this neighborhood, but this is one of
I'm
them.
happy to show you the inside too.
Sure.
So what happened is we bought the house. It was to be demolished. Demolition.
When would that have been?
I
10
hate to
years
think
ago?
of how long ago. I think it was longer than that.
More than 10
Yeah.
years ago.
Demolition notice on the house.
And why were they going to demolish such a wonderful house?
The roof was burned out. So there was a fire on
Yeah.
the second floor. A homeless person was cooking up there on a hibachi, and apparently got away from him, and so it burned out half of the roof.
Yeah.
So
So it was scheduled to be demolished.
Scheduled to be demolished. We went to City Council, had it taken off the demolition list. We got demolition.
How easy or hard was that?
We had William Bell was the mayor at the time, and he pushed hard for us.
He did?
Yes, he did. And so, so we got a demolition permit. We put the house back, put the roof back together, and then we had a falling out, if you will, with the city's building inspector.
Oh, who would
You
that?
may have not told you. You may know about this.
Can you tell me who it was?
Thomas Stokes.
Thomas Stokes. I don't know him.
But you may have read about him.
Okay.
So anyway, he insisted that we should pay him a little extra.
No, I did not know that.
So we didn't think that was a good idea. We felt like we paid for the permit, we were paying for the materials, we paid for the contractor. That was enough. And so this went on for a while. Every time we did anything, he was like right on top of us. And so the last thing that happened was my partner was working on a piece of furniture on the front porch over there, and Stove stopped and said he wanted to see a permit. And Ken said, I don't need a permit to work on furniture. And he insisted that Ken take him to our house, which Ken did. And he was furious because he was wrong. And he said, so I'm pulling all of your permits. And so he pulled the permit on the house, meaning we could no longer work on it. And so...
I remember something about that.
And so that went on for 7 or 8 years. He was the inspector here in the neighborhood. He'd been doing that to other contractors. He'd never done it to a property owner, right? So a contractor will say, this is the cost of doing business. You know, I'll give him $5,000. I'll do whatever it takes to get this through. Then that gets conveyed to the owner.
Yeah.
Right, so...
Yeah.
So anyway, we lost the permit. We couldn't work on the house. We did some gardening instead. And then 7 or 8 years later, he got caught on camera at a strip joint doing the same thing.
Really?
So, yeah. So he was shaking down a strip joint owner, which got him some time in jail.
Wow.
And so then we got a new inspector.
Gotcha.
We were able to get moving again. So,
Lord have mercy.
let me unlock things.
Okay. So how's Ken?
Ken is fine. He's off running errands this morning. He's doing well.
Is he still have his vet?
No, he is so fully retired, it's not funny.
He had a veterinarian,
Office. Clinic.
what do you call it? Clinic?
Yeah, Avondale. Avondale
Yeah,
in
down.
Avondale. And so he sold it and worked for him for 3 years and then didn't renew his license.
Okay, cool. I, many years ago, surveyed and researched and did for the National Register of Historic Places. It sat in the drawer down at Alabama Historical Commission for a long time.
Yeah.
And when any time elapses at all, before it goes to the committee again, somebody's got to relook at everything to see what's come down, what's been put up, and to revise the paperwork. So that took another piece of time. And did it eventually?
It did.
I thought it
passed.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did.
yeah.
So
So-
the whole neighborhood now is on the
Yeah.
on the
So yeah, the boulevard was on first. Then I worked with another woman. We did it, and then it had to be looked at again. And so
I think that
sometimes
it's done
these-
though as two separate pieces: the boulevard,
Yeah, oh,
historic
yeah, the
district,
boulevard
and then
is-
the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well, I can walk you in the
Yeah,
house and show you
let's do.
what we've been doing.
Yeah, what a treat. So are you and Ken living across the street?
We are.
Yeah, I remember that now when you said that.
What happens when your house has a fire is ultimately it gets flooded.
Oh,
So that's what happened here. You'll have to excuse the mess. We're working on 6 or 7 projects at one time.
and this was built as the Abercrombie house. and then it was built by Dr. Caraway, who then founded the Caraway Hospital in 1933.
So as much as possible, we're trying to be true to the house. So
Yeah.
there are plaster walls that were destroyed in the fire and the water and everything. The other thing that happened is someone, when the house was unoccupied and the doors were missing, somebody came through and stole all of the French doors in
Oh,
the house.
oh,
So we had to,
Jeez.
I don't know if you know Jim Miller, Woodwright, but Miller's a wonderful preservationist, Woodwright.
Oh,
And
really?
he made new doors for the whole house.
Oh my gosh. So this, y'all, is a craftsman style house, and all of this interior woodwork is so classically craftsman. Lots of beautiful woodwork. Craftsman loves that, arts and crafts. That probably would make sense. Of course, the fireplace is beautiful. And then looks like you've had to rebuild the stair.
We did have to rebuild
Yeah.
that. The one thing that's a little bit different about this from a lot of craftsman houses is their symmetry. And symmetry isn't something that craftsman style embraced. They liked all the different shapes, and this is, the same on both sides.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
exactly.
true.
Upstairs, interior and exterior.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to go upstairs. I just had a hip surgery, so I'm not doing a lot of walking.
Oh,
But,
okay. And I did want to point out the little back stair.
Yeah, the pajama stairs, and you can
The
see those well
pajama
from
stairs.
upstairs.
You can see what?
You can see those well from upstairs.
The wall?
Oh, no, you can see them well.
Oh, well, okay. Well, so you can't go up there, but
Yeah, I'm trying
will I
to-
be able to notice it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It runs right along that back wall.
Okay.
So that big opening was a stained glass window. We found a perfect stained glass window in Schenectady, New York.
Oh, yeah? Ah. Where's the... Trying to see the set of stairs. Oh, I got you. Yeah. So a lot of So you see the little stairway going that way, Anastasia, going back down that way in the back. Well, they're called pajama stairs, and that was so the servants could get the children down and taken care of without parading them through, you know, if they had company and something
Yeah.
like that. So that was an access for servants and such down there. Many of these houses, most of them, keep in mind how cheap servants were. Cheap, 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 cheap servants. And how do I know? Because very working class neighborhoods often also had people, not live-in servants, but people that would come and they would hire them to do ironing or something like that once a week. These are working class people. And for them to have anybody to work for them tells you how cheap they are. It's a horror, a scandal. And of course, that was before the civil rights movement, stuff like that.
These people were mainly African Americans?
Mainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Servants?
Yeah.
Okay.
This house probably has servants' quarters in the basement. I'll ask Tom. That would have been common for them to live in a house this big, maybe. So that wouldn't have been uncommon. But anyway, yeah, you can see what it's taken him to. Him and his partner. You talk about committed people. They wanted to live in this neighborhood. They're both professionals, plenty of choices. A veterinarian, I've forgotten, he got his PhD while he was doing this. So lots of options. And they chose this neighborhood. They wanted to live here. So that's real commitment. Okay.
They're really keeping the integrity of the house.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so down there would be, no doubt, the servants' quarters where they lived. I lived in a house, not a huge house at all, but in Forest Park, built in 1939. It wasn't a huge grand house, but it had a servants' quarter in the basement and a little bell in the dining room where you could push it. And it was a little room. I was fascinated with it. A little room with a commode and not much else.
The other man that was working with the veterinarian, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, and you probably will drive or go past this. So I heard you talking about staff.
Yeah,
Hiring
yeah,
staff.
yeah.
And this house does have a bathroom downstairs for staff down in the basement.
So they didn't live in.
They didn't live
Yeah.
here. But most of those people would pick up laundry here and take it down to their homes. So the staff actually work here in the neighborhood
Well, I was
in
going to
what
say
was called the ward.
the ward. So yeah, behind here was a all African American neighborhood. I think it's now part of the Norwood community.
Oh,
isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But when I was working over here 2 years, working, you know, documenting everything,
It's called Dodge City.
it was called Dodge City, and we
It's
were
the gun shop.
we were encouraged not to go into Dodge City.
Yeah.
What year? Thereabout?
Well, when I was doing it, it was in the 90s.
Yeah, it was in the
90s.
I think that we bought our first house in '93.
That sounds right, because I went to the city in
And then we
'92.
did a home
I think.
tour in '94.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so '93 was it. And you worked with Operation New Birmingham.
I
Did you do
did.
that?
No, I was with. Yes.
Yeah.
I was back at the city. I mean, back. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
they,
right.
they were the
I
ones.
think
that,
I got the grant when I was at the city. Is that right?
I'm not sure, but
I'm
I
not
know
sure
they were.
either.
It was funded by
Yeah.
Operation New Birmingham.
Well, it wasn't
thought.
funded. It went through them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the city matched the funds.
Okay.
But O&B just happened to be, because in the early days when the city wouldn't do applications, the state said O&B could stand in for that. So
Sure.
it just
The
passed.
Office of
through.
Management and Budget?
No.
Is it? No.
Operation New Birmingham.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And it was started in order to better integrate, you have to tell me if I'm wrong with this, better integrate the African American communities and the white communities. No?
Zoop.
Okay.
Have you not, you don't have my
I've
book that I wrote
been reading.
about it?
I've been reading the propaganda.
Yeah, no. I'll give you a book, because I
Okay.
wrote one.
On OMB or?
On the first 50 years of O&B, yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I
And
had
it's
no
got
idea.
great pictures. So we'll bring one by and leave it there, or if you're there, I'll
That's
give it to
great.
you.
That'd be
Yeah, so that's a.
Okay, well, I don't know what I'm talking about
You
then.
don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, one little piece of it way over here had to do with that, and that's it.
Who the leader was at that time?
Mike Calvert.
Calvert.
Yeah,
All I
yeah,
could
yeah.
come up with is Cal. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was really good, but no, it was to revitalize downtown. Period. End of story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, end of story.
I mean, it really
There you
is.
go.
Yeah. Okay, so we better get going. Thank you.
You're
This is
welcome.
fabulous.
You're welcome.
Any other tidbits you want to? Will it get finished?
It will get finished. We are working, this is, so this is a door being made into windows. These are old casement windows being made for a house that we're building in the North Carolina mountains.
Really?
So we have a attention deficit disorder when it comes to renovating houses. It's like, let's make sure we have 3 going at one time. So
Yeah.
We have that going on
In
and then
different-
one in Florida.
Oh, good. Good
We have
heavens.
told people forever that it's going to be finished by Christmas, and we've done that for the last 6 years. So it'll be finished by Christmas.
Well, I understand, and we're waiting with bated breath.
We can't wait.
Yeah,
We-
yeah,
It's
yeah.
been too long, entirely.
I know. And y'all are gonna live here? Yeah,
we are.
that's what I thought. Well, you deserve it. I don't know if
Well, I
that's.
mean, we're getting old enough. I'm not sure we're going to live here. We hope we live long enough to live here.
I know it, I know it.
Hard to say.
Well, I appreciate it, Tom, very,
Sure.
very much. What a
Sure.
treat.
My pleasure.
And great to see you and tell Ken hey.
I will. I will.
And,
Where are you going from here?
we're just gonna do the neighborhood, so we're gonna walk, walk and look and talk about why there are vacant lots. We're gonna talk about architecture. We're gonna talk about unfortunate additions or enclosures, all of this stuff.
Good deal.
And so, yeah.
Well,
Anyway, this is one of my favorites. When I put this on the syllabus, I don't think I did this year, but I always call it preservation in progress.
Yeah.
Because it's-
well, and we've seen huge movement as far as a couple of things. One, there hasn't been the ugly gentrification that we see in other neighborhoods.
Right.
In other words, most people who bought houses here bought vacant houses.
Back in the day, are you talking about black people?
Black and white, and I'm talking about the past 20 years.
Okay, that's
That we're seeing that happen. We're seeing a lot of, it wasn't somebody bought a house and the people that were living there were displaced. We haven't
Well-
seen displacement as a result of moving forward.
So I know Robert Gilmore
Uh-huh.
moved here. He was the African-American president of the neighborhood.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing. Yes.
For many years. Is he gone?
No, he's not.
Oh.
He,
He's one of my
I
favorite
spoke
people
to him
ever.
just recently.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Tell him I said
I
hello.
ran into his daughter, who was my physical therapist. when I was
Really?
in Ireland, yeah. So,
Oh, wow.
So I had to call him and tell him how wonderful she was.
Well, please tell him hello for
I'll
me,
do
because
it.
he's one of my very favorite people. But he moved in, I believe, in the early 70s.
I think that's probably right.
Early 70s. And so he's enjoyed whatever
Absolutely. And I
raising
think,
values they've been here.
I think that, and a lot of our neighbors have. So we have a lot of neighbors here that have been here since the 70s or
Yeah.
early 80s.
Yeah,
Who saw a much different neighborhood than what they see now.
right. And I documented, I don't know if I told you this, but the very first African Americans, according to my research, was in '69 to the boulevard.
Okay.
It's really interesting stuff.
Yeah, we've had an opportunity to talk to some of those early neighbors and their experiences.
I bet.
It's
I
really
bet.
interesting.
I bet. I've talked to them a little bit.
The Johnsons?
Yeah, the Johnsons.
Uh-huh.
But then
Did
Gilmore's,
they tell you the story of China?
yeah, they left it all there. Tell the story. So this house we're going to see next.
So Ruth and Eddie Johnson.
Black
had-
family.
Black family had a cleaning company, and they. What happened, and I'm sure that you know that this neighborhood turned just like that. In other words, there were
69.
there were real estate agents that had as many as 70 houses listed at the same time. And what they were doing is they were doing a lot of race baiting. So this house would come up for sale, and then they'd contact neighbors all around it and say, I think that we're gonna have an African-American family move into this house. Would you think about selling? And so they would.
Yeah, that's illegal now.
It was
Because-
illegal then.
Well, sure it
Under
was.
the,
1968.
The Civil Rights Act.
That's
Yes.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, so after
And so,
that,
so that went on, and so a lot of African-American families were able to buy houses for relatively inexpensive, good prices, let's put it that way. And Ruth and Eddie were one of those families that did that, had 3 boys. And so the day came for them to move in, and their truck came, and the folks that were living there weren't finished. The woman wasn't finished. Her husband was at work.
the white people.
The white people. And so she said, to Ruth and Eddie, just put your stuff in the living room and go ahead and start unloading. And so they did. And so the husband called home at lunchtime and said, how are things going? And Mrs. White person said, things are going okay. The Johnsons are moving into the living room. And he's like, get out of there. Get out of there right now. And so she left a whole set of china. She literally abandoned the house and everything that was still in it.
Because of the
Because there were black
terror, the sociological horror of this thing.
people. It was
That just
too
get
much.
out of there. Just
Yeah.
can't have our house stained with
So
black
Ruth,
people.
Ruth tells that with a giggle.
Yeah.
She's pretty proud for China.
But Robert Gilmore tells a whole different story. To me, did anyway.
Different from
Very
his
different than
experience?
that. Yeah, he tells that when he moved in, there were white neighbors all around him. He said they were wonderful to him. They would bring in food.
Absolutely, the Nygren family.
Nygren.
There was something going on over there that was different, I think.
Yeah. Well, it won the showpieces for one thing. I don't know.
Did you talk to Willie and Dorothy Arnold by any chance?
No.
Yeah, they have a horror story too.
Okay, I'd like to.
But yeah,
But
he really had a very
Oh, he
different
tells,
experience.
if somebody was sick, his wife or mother or whatever, all the white neighbors would come over and bring him food, and he brought them food. I mean, he tells that story.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt, there are all kinds of stories.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what
the
you-
house we're living in over there belonged to the Osborne family. Mary and her brother Robert had both sides of this duplex, and they stayed there until they died.
Really?
Which
Yeah.
was in the 80s.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I do hear those stories
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Like a split family?
A
like
duplex,
that?
but
Yeah.
a white family and a black family.
Wait, one of the brothers was, one of the
No,
siblings was.
both of these
what?
are white.
I didn't.
But both of them.
Oh.
So she was the president of Grapico.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
And
Ah.
her brother lived on the other side of the house. Her brother ended up passing away earlier, but
Yeah.
she stayed there until she died.
Okay.
And was real close friends with the Johnsons.
Well, yeah. I have a friend who goes to First Methodist Church. She grew up in Fairfield, white, and I talked to her about 10 years ago. She was probably 80 then. But she said, and she had just moved from Fairfield, so this was in 2010. And I said, oh, well, that's interesting. And she said, and she was white, she said when her policeman husband was killed in line of duty in the 60s, everybody was saying to her, as the 70s, you got to get out, because it was becoming African. And she, over all those decades, just a working class person, said, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you have to, black people are, and she said, I like my neighborhood and I like my neighbors.
Yeah.
But that's an unusual, but you do see some older ladies sometimes who took that position. They just, this is my house.
Right.
This is my neighborhood.
These are
and we're
these are my
fine.
neighbors. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you hear all kinds of,
Absolutely.
and
There's
they're
not-
all in there.
Yes, exactly.
But we better get going. I have no idea what time it is.
Yeah, I
Who
just
can
spent
tell?
all of your.
That's okay. Huh? 10:22. We've got a few minutes.
Okay.
But no, this has been a treat, Tom. I appreciate it.
You're
It's
quite
great to see
welcome.
you.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
So
to
let's
see you, Pam.
read
I'll
it
let
that way.
Ken. Yeah, that's the way.
Okay.
I'll let Ken know that you said hi.
Yes, and Robert.
And Robert, right?
Yeah. So this is Sam, Bo, Patrick, Adam. Oh, Trent's not here. What's Trent? Anastasia. No Trent.
I just noticed it wasn't here.
Yeah. When I
I don't think he was ever here. I think we all just, we fooled
You
ourselves.
assumed he would
thinking
be
that
here.
Trent was here, yeah.
when I saw y'all all get out, I thought, oh, they're all here. Anyway, and there's another girl. She didn't make it either. They missed it, didn't they?
I guess.
Okay, well, thank you, Tom, and we'll let ourselves out. I'll bring you that book so you can get educated. Yeah.
Do you have either of the books that were written about the neighborhood? One by Travis Isom?
I do.
Okay.
And what's the other one?
The other one was Mr. Pope, William Pope, who grew up on 32nd Street.
I think
His
I
house is
know
still
of
there.
it.
And grew up here in the neighborhood and wrote a really touching,
Memoir.
yeah, even talking about the World War I memorial down on the boulevard. You know the one by the trolley stop?
I
Ken,
may
is
know
the
it.
memorial World War I or World War II?
Hey, Ken. Pam, King. We're having a party. Huh?
you doing?
I'm fine. How
Great
are
to
you?
see you.
It's great to see y'all too.
I lost track of all the
I
big
know
trees.
it. I know it. This is my preservation class, graduates and
forever,
undergraduates.
forever project.
Yeah. Well, looking at the neighborhood, one of my favorites. So we've been inside and everything. So it's still coming along.
His health has helped has slowed us down a lot.
Yeah. Well, it
We were
happens.
going to do all the trim work ourselves, and now he's infirm. He can't get on the ground, and I can't hold both ends of the board.
Well,
One day.
yeah. Well, I get it.
Yeah.
I've got knee issues that I never in my life had before. So it
I
happens,
had knee
right?
surgery in December and hip surgery in January.
Wow.
Now I'm going back for a CAT scan to see why it's not working right.
Oh. Well, that's all of us, isn't it? Except
They
you.
didn't tell me about getting old that this would happen.
Well, it's great to see y'all again,
Good
and
to see you.
I'm gonna bring you a book.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cameron from History of Operation Birmingham.
Yeah.
And I made up a story and Cam had to correct me.
I've seen that, and it's like no.
It was a really Pollyanna story about how happy OMB was to take care of the racial problem in Birmingham. Is that about right?
That's. I mean, if it were the aim of it, then yeah, it'd be fine. But it wasn't.
You guys take care.
All right. Bye bye. All right, y'all. So it looks like you may be getting calls from Trent and Alyssa. So this is the Johnson house that he was talking about. And there are a lot of beautiful houses in this neighborhood, but these two are the showpieces. Definitely. So let's just walk down here a little bit. And can you see the craftsman features on this house? What do you see on the house that makes it craftsman to you?
Braces.
Yeah, the knee braces, the double columns. Yeah. The porch. Yeah, I don't know if that's craftsman or not, but it's definitely I think the roof line with the knee braces and is the most telling of the craftsman period. Yeah, it's got a lot of that. Pretty chimney, good house. Okay, so this is the Johnson house. And so So in 1969, according to my documentation, the first African American family moved into the white part of Norwood onto the boulevard. So right onto the boulevard, the most prestigious part of the neighborhood. And then he says it's happened real quick, but it was 1979, 10 years, before it was 100% according to city records. I didn't make it up. Where it was 100% African American. So one of the topics that interests me a lot is the transition of all white neighborhoods to all black neighborhoods, and how did that happen? Usually takes a 10-year period. Over in Fountain Heights, near the Jewish cemetery, that was the first one. It hit late 40s, 50s, took about 10 years, to about late 60s, 69. This one is 69, 79, over in Bush Hills, which is now part of the Inslee community. Very big houses built by U.S. Steel for its upper management. It doesn't begin to transition until 79, 89. Fairfield, which is not in the city of Birmingham, but begins to transition in the 80s, 90s, that type of thing. So it's real interesting how these things happen. Another thing that happened here that I found in other upper middle class neighborhoods is that in the interim, all white, and then you get this interim transition here in the 1930s, 1920s and 30s, when the wealthiest people now could go over to Mountain Brook, right? It was cleaner from all the soot and everything. It was cleaner, it was more prestigious, didn't have anything to do with race in the 30s. It was because of upward mobility. And so they would move over they moved over across the mountain. Well, in that period of the 30s and 40s, early 50s, Greek and Lebanese. I've seen it over and over again, just in that period. It happened in Bush Hills, I think I'm saying that right. I know it happened in Forest Park. And so it's an interesting thing. They weren't considered white, but they weren't black either. So there wasn't any legal reason they couldn't move here. They weren't necessarily accepted or treated right, but this is the way, those are kind of the patterns.
In the 1930s?
30s, 40s, 50s.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was quite a bit of prejudice against immigrants still at that time. Were you going to?
Well, I was going to ask you what I don't know when the airport was built.
Oh,
Or was it built when there was still predominantly a white neighborhood?
You know, I was just seeing something about that this morning. I believe it was in the...
Yeah. That's right.
Because Lindbergh came here.
Yeah.
The Lindbergh came here. He had a cousin, Charles Lindbergh.
Oh, wow.
He had a cousin that was in the Birmingham government, city government. And for whatever, so he apparently got Lindbergh to come here. That was in the 30s. And Lindbergh told the city government that y'all need an airport. That's what you need, not just a strip thing. And so that began the move to build where the airport is now. And so that is going to cause some condemnation of land around there, that sort of thing. But it was still white, I think, in answer to your question. I think I'm right.
I was just wondering if there's ever like a racial or socioeconomic dynamic where
Yeah, definitely. And right around there was working class white. But that's a good question. I don't think anybody's kind of really looked in, just, to see how that worked out. But yes, there always are class probably classed more than race, anyway, whatever the land's poor, and is a good spot for something like that. And then, of course, they expanded the airport a lot in the last 20 years. But yeah, you going to say something, Sam?
I was going to say, because right now, the place the airport is the closest is to Tarrant. And we've seen how Tarrant, Tarrant was made, like, it's predominantly black.
Yeah.
There's also the class aspect as well, but yeah, Tarrant already has a lot of, like, I don't know, they're releasing all of the
Oh, yeah.
already. Like, because my dad used to work and, like, live in that area as well, and he was talking about how it's basically, like, become, like, frozen in time, in the sense of, like, nothing new's been added in, it's just all very old, and it's gotten worse. And if you
Historic.
Right.
I put the downtown Tarrant on the National Register of Historic Places, yeah. I was going to say that. And Tarrant used to be working class white. Now it's African American. I'm not sure what kind of socioeconomic. But back in the day when, in the 30s, when Birmingham had the largest communist party in the South, have we talked about this?
No. Talk about that.
Had the largest communist party in the South. What happened is that the Southern Communist Party, which was headquartered in Chattanooga, moved to Birmingham in 1929. And throughout the 30s and 40s, 30s mainly, Birmingham had by far the largest communist party in the South, hands down. Well, the backbone of it, that movement, were African Americans, and in particular black women. And this is according to the historian who was at Berkeley who wrote about this. And he details in his book, I taught a whole class on this one time, in his book where all the demonstrations were held, this and that, so I knew a lot of them. But I found, or either he gave, a photograph of a communist parade in Tarrant. Of all places, that just blows my mind. So, it's known to be fairly hardcore back in the day, tough, kind of a tough place.
So there's a place where I drive through all the time, especially in Birmingham, and even during the day, especially at night, you'll see runners, people on bikes, who are, if you know what's going on, they are delivering drugs from one place to another.
And remember, you're on camera.
Well, I'm not doing anything with that.
Yeah.
You can see them.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
If you have people that know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very
You
much,
think that maybe they
yes,
might be doing
No,
that.
it is still very much, it's rough and the industry.
And when I said rough, I really meant it was considered a tough working person's town. It's still not part of Birmingham, by the way, it's its own town. But I just found it really fascinating that where you would think you would find communist activity, right? Working class. Sometimes you did. Okay, let's look at this house a little bit more because it really is a spectacular house. What features what kind of design is this, would you say?
Craftsman?
Yeah, I would call it craftsman.
It's got the knee braces.
Well, they're not
So,
really knee braces, but they are roof supports. That's what I would call them.
Yeah.
The knee braces need to have that triangular effect, but I would call them very craftsman roof supports. It is a symmetrical house, very symmetrical. And look at the windows. How would you describe those windows? It is amazing that every one of them are there. How would you describe those windows, somebody?
No, they're 30 over 1, right?
30 over 1.
Yeah. 5.
And then you've got,
Yeah.
on the first floor, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by, so what is that, 43, 42 over 1, flanked by,
6 over by 30 over 1.
yeah.
So we're,
And then in the front entrance,
yeah, 42 over 1 flanked by 2, 30
over one.
Yeah.
And some inside lights on the door.
So you've got the same small lights in both the transom and the side lights on either side of the door. Yeah.
It gives it almost a bit of a, well, some, I know that some, not colonial houses, but who has those fan lights? I think some of the Jeffersonian.
Yeah, some of the colonial types.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But this is not that. You've got the big wood columns at the porch and different things like that. And then you've got a enclosed porch on this side. Is that originally enclosed? I'd say the windows tell me they are original. Is a door, but you've got those panes that look original. But then on this side, my guess would be that it was an open porch, because a lot of times you had that, and it was enclosed at some later time.
That was original. That enclosure was added later, or?
The wing was original, but it was probably open. You can see the column on the end there. But my guess is it was an open porch, and then it was enclosed with the glass.
The back column over there that looked original?
The column? Yeah, yeah. When the Norwood neighborhood was laid out and designed, the boulevard was laid out to go all the way across, all the way down the boulevard, with the most spectacular houses on the boulevard and somewhat less so, but there's some great houses all behind there. And just kind of, because we don't have a lot of time, you can see down there the gray one is historic. You can see down that way some historic. So what do you see in front of you? Somebody?
These are smaller than on the other side.
They're smaller. Anastasia says they're smaller. What else?
What is smaller?
The houses we're looking at in front of us. What else do you notice about them?
Are they newer?
You tell me.
Well, they're similar to like some of the houses we saw in Titusville. Some of like, what did you call it?
Post-war,
Post-war, minimal.
minimal, traditional. They're very much post-war,
Yeah, I was gonna
right?
say 50s probably.
I hope your eye told you right away, oh, wait, these aren't original to the neighborhood, right? So,
Iron, no, I'm not thinking, is that iron, well, I can't.
Well, some of them do that I saw.
Yeah.
so you've got some 50s, I would say, right here.
Yeah.
But you've got some 60s, 70s, I'd say 70s
Yeah,
or
it's
so, right in there. So what is happening? What's happening, Anastasia? Well, the neighborhood is changing. That's for sure.
Either it's new houses or old houses are being demolished and new ones are being built, or they're just starting for a new.
It appears that.
I can't
And why
say.
would you? What? Give me a clue that there was an older house over here. The stairs, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. So the stair systems, the retaining walls, very much tell you that those were there before these houses, right?
That one looks.
Well, we don't know that. We'd have to look on the Sanborn maps. So we don't know that, but what we do know is that there were older houses on the lots. We don't know if there was a great big lot and one house. We don't know. We could get some clues. But at some point, 60s, 70s, 80s for sure, right in here, new houses. And so Would you describe these houses as middle class, upper middle class? Well, let me start with this. Would you describe the Johnson house and the Caraway house as looking for families upper middle class or middle class? They look upper middle class to me. Turn around. Do these look like upper middle class? Middle class. So something is happening in here, right? We know that, okay? We don't want to make too many conclusions, but just by reading what you see, you can tell that, right? So they're smaller, they're newer, but it is new investment, isn't it? It is new investment into the neighborhood. It's not going to be the expensive materials and size that some of the other ones, but it is new investment. We know that, okay? If it was after 69, my strong guess would be that they were white people. Okay. I'm sorry, black people. But we don't know that, and you can't know that by the city directories because they no longer give you that clue of the C or the asterisk. What I did in tracking is that I went back before 1952 when they were still telling you that and tracked a family that was black and tracked them all the way until I found them in this neighborhood. Can't remember exactly what clued me to the particular family, but that's the way I had to do it. Okay, so let's walk down there here just a little bit, and then I'm gonna let you go. What time we got? Ooh, okay, well, we'll stand right here. So there are fabulous houses all down behind here, especially this way, are some really nice houses. That way you run into what was called Dodge City, kind of after that street right there. And so he was talking about the servants that worked here. He thinks, I don't know that he said it definitively, but he said he thought they took the laundry back to their houses. Well, it probably was, because there was an African-American, very poor neighborhood just behind here. So that wouldn't be unreasonable. I'll just say that. Okay, the boulevard has always been the way it is. There was a streetcar here. The original streetcar stop is down there. You can see it. Norwood School, built as you come in, as you go out. If you go out this way, you'll see Norwood School, 1920s. Wonderful school. Nearly got torn down, but Robert Gilmore was very instrumental in keeping it up and getting it renovated and stuff like that. There's also a fire station over there, and when I was working on this neighborhood, we can walk because I know we need to get going. When I was working on this neighborhood, I saw the fire station, and it had a plaque on it, and it's what preservationists dream of, which will tell you the date it was built. So I went up to the fire station and looked at it, and it had the name of the city commissioners who were in charge of it, and who do you reckon I saw?
Bull Connor?
Bull Connor. I thought that was so interesting. And remember, he had a day job. He was a terrorist at night or whatever, but he had a day job, and it was a big day job. He was, in charge of all the public facilities. And so I had students one time do a paper on what he did as public commissioner. He built fire stations, he built all kinds of public facilities in his day job. So it kind of rounds him out a little bit too. Any questions about this? Tom was alluding to the fact that this is now quite a diverse neighborhood. Gay people have been pioneers in preservation forever. They are the pioneers. They're on the front lines. They'll move into neighborhoods that middle class people with children want out of. They have historically and traditionally been the first wave in a lot of times, including this neighborhood, including Woodlawn, including lots of places. Avondale, and now this is is majority black, but there are also a number of white people. There are a number of gay couples, mixed race couples, all kinds of couples in here, or not couples. So it's very much a diverse place. Got a lot of work. You can see they've been working on this for 30 years. You see how long this stuff takes? There are a lot of vacant lots. Neighborhoods want dilapidated houses down. Unfortunately, I get it, but once they're down, they're down. And if the neighborhood comes back up, there's that vacant lot, right? So I get it, but they're very aggressive about getting dilapidated houses down. They also had a problem that a lot of other neighborhoods didn't have, which was in the 60s, once it's becoming black, right? Then the city rezoned it for multifamily. We didn't get to see it today. We would have gone down there and you would see, like you do around UAB, big houses chopped up into apartments. And when that happens, you get a transient population, right? You get a transient population. And you also get boogered up buildings, right? So that they're not caring about what it looks like. They just chop it up here, make the porch into an apartment, this and that and the other, enclose things. They don't look very good. Other neighborhoods, including the ones that were transitioning from white to black, were not downzoned like that, okay? It's a problem that's hard to overcome, really hard to overcome. One result of that rezoning is that halfway houses are here.
What is halfway house?
Halfway houses can be anything from people in sober living. It can be people just out of jail. It could be, and so I don't believe you're gonna find any in Mountain Brook. You're not gonna find any in Vestavia. You're not gonna find any in Homewood at all. But you're gonna find them in neighborhoods that can't fight back. Basically, they fought that here in the last 30 years. It's hard to fight. It's hard to fight because the zoning's there for it, right? So this neighborhood has issues that other ones haven't had to deal with. And another issue is that the large size of the houses prohibits people with little means because they can't keep them up. Maybe they can buy it, but they can't keep it up. And if you've got choices with children, unless you're really committed, you're probably going somewhere else, right?